The more I play Terraria, the more I'm faced with the growing feeling of boredom. Sure, I've conquered some of the hardest seeds in most of the difficult mods, but I've failed to do anything interesting in all of these runs. It's always bigger sword and high defense. There's no originality in my builds, so I went to the comments in search of recommendations. I looked and beheld one above the rest. So here I am today asking the question, can you beat Terraria with only Hermes boots? I have been challenged to beat Terraria with only boots. Well, he says Hermes boots, but I'm gonna broaden that a little bit to boots. Okay, listen. Terraria is a game about squeezing every little drop of power you can out of any given scenario. You can't beat the floaty eye, then build an arena. Plant mom giving you trouble, excavate the jungle. You want to power game every little drop of damage possible out of a weapon? Go ahead. But speed is forgotten. Sure, everyone gets some form of Hermes boots, maybe a dash, and the fastest wings they can afford, but no one really commits to the speed. And if they do, they cheat with minecarts or mounts. In Terraria, you get many accessory slots, and these are probably a quarter of the power in your build, if not more. Unfortunately, 2 of the same accessories do not stack. So the question is really whether you can beat Terraria with just the Terraspark boots. The run begins, as all Terraria worlds do, running around and looking for stuff. This is everything I got for the Eye of Cthulhu. A pair of Hermes boots, some armor, and a snowball cannon. Luckily, the snowball cannon is pretty good. Even if it takes a minute, the eye goes down. This boss is technically unnecessary for progression, but it feels blasphemous to beat any other boss before this one. There's no point in slowing down, so I head over to the Eater of Worlds for a round 2. I, however, am a massive skill issue and got absolutely cooked. And before I could even think of a rematch, the goblin army spawns. After a couple of deaths, the invasion ends and the Goblin Tinkerer spawns somewhere. I don't know yet. Having killed the Goblin army, I got Spike Balls, which absolutely eat through the Eater of Worlds health, making the rematch trivial. After getting Molten Armor, Skeletron is next. Up to this point, limiting myself to Hermes boots has had almost zero effect on gameplay. But that is going to change soon. Skeletron is noticeably harder without being able to use accessories, but he is still simple enough to kill. Remove the hands, and then make a circle around him, and he dies like a skeleton that was alive and then dead. Skeletron's death gives me access to the Muramasa, or as it's also known as, the only thing between me and a Knight's Edge. The next boss is the Wall of Flesh. This fight is extremely easy if you have the right accessories. Unfortunately, I don't. It is also very easy if you go farm the Queen Bee. Unfortunately, I'm lazy. So what then? How do I fight the Wall of Flesh? Well, it's simple. I can only use Hermes boots, but there are many recipes that use Hermes boots. And I know what you're thinking, PB. Accessories don't stack, you said so yourself. And this is true, the effective accessories don't stack even if they're on different levels of a crafting chain. That means if you have Terraspark boots, none of the recipes lower on the chain grant their effects. Luckily, their effects are not what I'm after. While I cannot stack effects, I can add reforges. Reforges are applied regardless of what accessory they're on. And while I cannot equip 2 of the exact same accessory, I can equip different levels of a crafting tree, thus letting me equip entirely warding accessories, which gives me just enough defense to not take any damage from the Wall of Flesh's lasers. I know this is a hot take in the Terraria community, but warding is the best reforge, and defense builds are OP in all Terraria difficulties. Don't at me. Video on why I'm right coming soon. After killing the Wall of Flesh, there's a very easy way to cheese the Destroyer. You just sit in this little cage and throw dynamite on an unbreakable ore. But this goes against the spirit of the challenge, so I killed a Hollow Mimic and got the Daedalus Bow. The mechanical bosses are one of my favorite parts of every Terraria run. The Destroyer is by far the easiest. Piercing eats through his health, and the probes drop lots of health in case you take damage. Killing the destroyer grants me access to hollowed armor, the Mega Shark, and the hollowed repeater. The twins are a rough fight. I don't quite have the armor to tank a lot of damage, and without wings, dodging is pretty rough. In the end, the twins fall. Skeletron Prime is not much different. If you kill his hands and are patient, he dies like the rest. With this, the run begins to cascade into the endgame. Plantera is a very hard fight, right up until you figure it out. A big enough arena and a decent amount of piercing is enough to make her evaporate. Wings are helpful, but unnecessary. That's something I'm finding out more and more. Wings are very helpful, and rocket boots are simply not that good. Even with just using Excalibur, the fight isn't that crazy. With Plantera gone, the solar eclipse can happen and summon Mothron. I kill Mothron. Which gives me the Broken Hero Sword, and I make the Terra Blade. The Terra Blade makes the Golem fight extremely easy. Move around, and don't get hit by the fireballs. I know, crazy. Most of this run is characterized by one simple phrase. Man, I wish I had wings right now. Wings would be very helpful. How am I going to beat the twins without wings? That's a lot of fall damage. You know, I wouldn't take fall damage if I had wings. The Lunatic Cultist fight is easy as long as you can tell which of these idiots is real, and I can. The pillars are painful because I die a lot and have no movement options, but they still all bite the dust. But then the real question comes. The only thing in this entire run that I actually thought might be a challenge. The Moon Lord, without wings, without minecarts, without movement options, and without more accessories, is rough. There is, however, one last bastion that can help me win. Asphalt. Asphalt is not something I have ever used in Terraria. It is easy to make and it helps you run very quickly. But I'm lazy and it requires resources, so I've never used it. This, however, is my last hope to beat the Moon Lord. See, I tried without Asphalt, but you just don't get high enough to dodge this freaking laser. But by setting my spawn at the beginning of the highway, when I run out of highway, I can simply respawn at the beginning and continue running right. This still is not easy because this freaking laser deals so much damage. After many hardships, the Moonlord dies, and I am rewarded with one more Terraria challenge under my belt. If you like this video, then leave a like, and if you subscribed it, then subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.